am the candidate of the people of America.
Oh my God, Ian, if you are at home, no caps. What? I probably said it wrong. No cap, that's what it's supposed to be.
I mean, look at this young man that is my most, this makes me happier than anything in the whole world. And to know that I was gonna have to be in a space of a mother losing her child for 6 months, it was terrifying. I didn't realize.
Regina King is finally coming back to our screens after taking a break to deal with the loss of her only son, Ian Alexander Jr., who passed away in January 2022 after taking his own life. The period was especially tough for Regina because she and Ian were as close as you can imagine a mother and son to be. He was the inspiration and motivation behind Regina's acting, and she always said he was her light. Mother and son were always spotted attending events together and just generally being present for each other, so it wasn't surprising that Regina needed to take some time off of acting to mourn. Many fans felt she might need more time to deal with such a tragic loss. But Ms. Regina is ready to be on our screens again, and she has been talking about her upcoming movie, Shirley, where she plays the role of the iconic Shirley Chisholm. So, what has Regina said about her role in the upcoming movie Shirley, and is it something worth looking forward to? Let's get into it.
Regina, your son Ian has been out with you. Here he is here on the awards circuit. What's he like to go to award shows with? Is he protective of you? Is he fun at these award shows?
He is so much fun. He is so much fun, and he has been protective of me all of his life.
So it looks like Regina King is ready to return to the spotlight after stepping back since she lost her only son, Ian Alexander Jr., and she has been dropping the scoop on what we should expect from her. However, fans are still concerned about her well-being because Regina hasn't exactly had it easy in life. Yes, she is a talented and gorgeous actress with 4 Emmys, an Academy Award, and a Golden Globe Award. However, under all the glitz and glamour, Regina has faced the same struggles that the rest of us face. It started with her parents getting divorced when she was just a kid. She wrote about how that divorce and her father's absence affected her and her sister in an essay that appeared in He Never Came Home, Interviews, Stories, and Essays from Daughters on Life Without Their Fathers by Regina Robertson. I can't pinpoint when or how it started, but somewhere along the way, my dad just drifted away. Those every other weekend visits slowed down too, but I didn't notice it right away because life was getting really busy at our house. Regina also wrote about how, unfortunately, she found herself repeating history when she and her husband's marriage started going downhill, and her son became the child who had to listen to his parents fighting and arguing. Regina and her ex-husband Ian Alexander got married in 1997, and the marriage ended in 2007. Speaking to Bustle about how difficult the marriage was, Regina said, "The marriage part was probably the hardest part of it all, and I think any married couple that's remained married, hats off to them because they were able to get over those times when you're growing at different speeds and in different directions and finding a way to bring it back and get back on the same path. That's difficult. My ex-husband and I found that we're much better co-parents and friends than we are as husband and wife." After her difficult marriage ended, Regina found love again 4 years later with the Cosby Show actor Malcolm Jamal Warner. They first met in the 1980s as sitcom stars, but their romance didn't bloom till 2011. It seemed like Regina's love life was finally getting back on track, and Regina even talked about how the relationship had perfect timing. "I believe the universe has a plan, and we probably wouldn't have been ready years ago. We both had to do whatever we had to do to be ready for each other now. But despite the hearts and flowers, the relationship came crashing down barely 2 years later. The breakup was a huge blow to Regina's pride and emotions, and it brought her to her knees. At the time, sources reported that Malcolm not only ended things because he wasn't feeling it anymore, but he told Regina and her son, who were living with him, to move out. As if that wasn't bad enough, he broke up with her on Valentine's Day and then tried to make up for it by giving her flowers and a note that said, "I still love you." Like that's supposed to make up for breaking up with someone on the day you're supposed to celebrate love and kick them out along with their child. It's a tough thing to have to go through, and understandably, it left Regina feeling hurt, confused, and betrayed. It made her decide to take a break from dating, and she even told Wendy Williams in 2015 that she was too busy with work to make time for a man. Anyway, sis got her bag up, and her dating life eventually stabilized. As she told the New York Post in 2019 when she was asked to clarify the rumors that she's no longer dating, I mean, I'm dating, but it's very comfortable where I am right now. Disrupting that means being in an uncomfortable place, and I'm not ready for that. After all the ups and downs of the last few years, it was a relief for fans to hear that Regina was finally in a better place financially and emotionally. But life was not done throwing Regina curveballs, because she was about to face the biggest loss of her life. On January 21st, 2022, just 2 days after his 26th birthday, Regina's only son, Ian Alexander Jr., took his life. The family issued a statement that wrote, "Our family is devastated at the deepest level by the loss of Ian. He is such a bright light who cared so deeply about the happiness of others. Our family asks for respectful consideration during this private time." Regina was devastated by the loss. After this statement was released, several celebrities showed support for Regina on social media. For example, Anjanou Ellis, who co-starred with Regina on If Beale Street Could Talk, took to X to say, "My heart aches, it aches for Regina. My grandmother and the sisters of the church would come and sit. Let's sit with Regina wherever we are." Then there was Missy Elliott, who posted, "Prayers for Regina King family and Ian Alexander Sr. family. Dear Lord, give them strength during this time." Even Kid Cudi wrote, "My heart hurts for Regina King and her family. God, please watch over them." But only Regina's close friends like Vivica Fox could begin to understand how deeply hurt she was, because Ian was the most important person in her life. To catch a glimpse of just how much Ian meant to her, watch her say it herself during her appreciation speech.
Absolutely amazing, my son Ian. The fact that I get to share this night with you, the best date in the house. Oh man, you make being a mother my greatest accomplishment. I love you. Cheers.
Regina and Ian were so close that they got matching tattoos on their forearms that read "Unconditional Love" in Aramaic, which they learned while studying Kabbalah together. Even the story of how they chose the tattoo is so cute. As for Ian, he respected and loved his mother as much as she did him. He spoke highly of her when he was talking to E! News once.
Man, as a mom, usually people will ask me, like, what's it like having Regina King be your mother?
She seems like she's always in a good mood.
Yeah, she's just a super mom, really. Like, she doesn't really let, bad work days or anything come back and ruin the time that we have. So it's really awesome to have a mother that can also love to enjoy. I can enjoy spending time with and all that. So
Ian was an actor like his mother, but he also took after his father's love for music, especially DJing. But Regina never failed to say how proud of him she was and how much she enjoyed being his mother even after she had separated from his father. Now, it's not exactly clear why Ian took his life, but shortly before he passed away, he left some messages on his social media that hinted that he was not in a good place mentally and that social media was negatively affecting his well-being. The most obvious one was one of his last tweets, where he said, "I don't think Instagram is good for me." Then there was this post where he shared the famous image from SpongeBob SquarePants, where many tiny SpongeBobs are in a chaotic burning room. He said, "You know that episode of SpongeBob where they go inside his brain and it's a bunch of mini SpongeBobs just losing it? Yeah, that one really hits home." So Regina couldn't really understand why things happened the way they did, and it just hurts differently when something like this happens, and you have no answers to the millions of questions running through your head. However, Regina wants her son to be remembered not for the circumstances surrounding his death, but for the amazing life he lived. In 2023, she paid tribute to him in a moving post on Instagram, where she shared a video of an orange paper lantern with a lit candle floating in the air. The caption read, "January 19th is Ian's birthday. As we still process his physical absence, we celebrate his presence. We are all in different places on the planet. So is Ian. His spirit is the thread that connects us. Of course, orange is your favorite color. It's the fire and the calm. I see you in everything I breathe. My absolute favorite thing about myself is being Regina, the mother of Ian, the God King. Continue to shine bright, my guiding light." Although the occasion was somber, family and friends can be heard in the background cheering as the lantern floated away. This was to mark what would have been Ian's 27th birthday. It's also worth noting that since she made that post, Regina's profile picture has been the color orange, which we assume is in tribute to her son. The post also marked Regina's return to Instagram after not posting anything since shortly before her son passed away. Afterward, Regina stayed away from the public eye for some months while she grieved her son and tried to get herself together. However, she returned to the red carpet in June 2022 when she attended the Filming Italy Festival in Italy. During the event, Regina received the Women Power Award. Regina recently stirred controversy as she and Angela Bassett shared a kiss on stage stage when Angela received her honorary Oscar at the 14th Annual Governors Awards in January. Regina gave a heartwarming speech about Angela, calling her a national treasure and even joking that Angela should run for president. It was obviously a powerful moment between two Black women who saw each other as not just colleagues but also sisters. But of course, people had to start attaching a different meaning to not. Like, why would anyone take something innocent and sisterly and turn it into something that is not? Beats me. Anyway, the most important update from Regina King is that she is now ready to be in the public light again as she makes her acting comeback with her role as Shirley Chisholm in the upcoming movie Shirley. Regina spoke with Harper's Bazaar about the new project and its meaning to her. According to her, she and her sister Regina King have spent 15 years working on this project but never completed it because other work projects just kept getting in the way. For Regina, the last few years have seen her take roles in the 2018 If Beale Street Could Talk, HBO's 2019 Watchmen miniseries, and the 2021 movie The Harder They Fall. That's not counting her 2020 directorial debut with One Night in Miami. However, Regina says she and her sister Regina could never really let Shirley go because of how much Shirley Chisholm meant to them. She said, "It was always a little disheartening for Regina and I to have so many people over the years of our lives not know who Shirley Chisholm was. What she did was so pioneering. She was a true maverick, and we use this term all the time, but she was a true first." Shirley is expected to be released on Netflix on March 22nd, 2024. For Regina, the release date is not just some random decision made by the studio. She told Bazaar that she was intentional about the release date, as it falls during the US presidential election period. For context, Shirley Chisholm, whom this movie is centered around, was the first Black woman to be elected to Congress, representing New York's 12th district from 1969 to 1983. Then, in 1972, Shirley Chisholm hit another milestone when she became the first Black woman to seek a major party's nomination for President of the United States, running as a Democrat. Shirley Chisholm eventually passed away in 2005 at the age of 80 after living a life riddled with hurdles and tribulations. She was born to a Barbados-born maid and a Guyanese laborer, so you can imagine how much difficulty she faced in her everyday life. Things didn't improve even after Chisholm won her congressional seat in 1968. Her People obituary says she was greeted in Washington with cold shoulders rather than open arms. Many of her new colleagues, overwhelmingly white and male, would barely speak to her, Chisholm told friends, and seemed eager to keep her on the fringes of power. So, despite all the racial and systemic curveballs thrown her way, having the audacity to run for the highest office in the US of A was truly something for the history books. Like, that's so mother. And you just know Miss Shirley was a no-nonsense woman because her personal motto was unbought and unbossed. According to her friend and Democratic activist Donna Brazile, Chisholm once told her, "If you wait for a man to give you a seat, you'll never have one. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring in a folding chair." There's no way you're convincing me this woman didn't invent the word slay. Honestly, it seems fitting that Regina King is the one who plays her role in the upcoming movie because Regina has also had a lot of curveballs thrown her way, both privately and publicly. But has she ever let that stop her from girl bossing? No ma'am. According to Regina, she decided Shirley would be released during the presidential election period to honor Shirley Chisholm's audacious, boundary-breaking 1972 presidential campaign, which is also what the movie is about. She said, "Instead of trying to release it during any normal cycle, we thought, wouldn't it be more impactful to release it during a presidential election year?" She continued, "As a team, we felt that is probably the best way we could possibly honor Shirley, to release her in a space that she created for herself." Shirley is already expected to be a major hit because the cast is the definition of quality. Woo! First, it was written by John Ridley, who also worked on the award-winning movie 12 Years a Slave. The cast features Lucas Hedges, Christina Jackson, Tareen Howard, and the late Lance Reddick. Regina also gave us a glimpse of her work process in reinventing herself for the role of Shirley Chisholm. I watched every bit of footage there is out there of her. From all of that, you start to look in between the cracks, right? Paying attention to all of those little things showed me just how much of a strategist she was. It takes great strategy to be in the spaces that she was in and go toe-to-toe with the people that she went toe-to-toe with. Regina then talked about how Shirley Chisholm's upbringing was the catalyst of her grassroots politics. She said growing up in Barbados made Chisholm have a stronger sense of discipline because the schools there were much more rigorous than those in America. According to Regina, all of this gave Chisholm a strong sense of, if it's not me, then who? This made her concerned about doing the right thing and standing up in the face of injustice. It also made her strong enough to embark on the presidential run, despite the odds being stacked against her. Regina said Chisholm knew just by being Black and a woman, and of how she was born, what it meant to be immediately put in the category of a marginalized person, and she became their voice. She was always going to fight the establishment, and that's what she did until the very very, very end. She embraced what made her different and used it as her superpower. Regina then concluded saying, making the decision to run for P-Resident as a black woman in those times, it really made people think, is she crazy? But if you want to call it crazy, then crazy is a good thing. So from what we know, Regina put in a lot of time and effort into creating this movie, coupled with the fact that fans have terribly missed Regina's graceful and mind-blowing appearances on screen. Shirley is one highly anticipated movie. Also, fans have expressed their eagerness to see Regina's acting comeback after losing her son and going through such trying times. One commenter on X said, "One of my favorite actors playing one of my favorite icons. Good to see you again, Regina King." Another said, "I love me some Regina. I truly hope she's okay." And then this person said, "So happy to see her on the screen again. Pray that God continues to give the strength she needs each day. You are a gem, Ms. Regina." But now I want to know if y'all are just as excited to see Regina King on your screens again. What do you think about her making her acting comeback with such a huge project? Comment down below and we'll see you in the next video.